I'm at Cosmo Square Station on the Osaka Metro Cho line. As always, I've come here for this channel. For those of you watching, I think this is a familiar sight. My favorite area is on Osaka City's seaside, Kojima, Sakishima, Nanko, and the Cosmo Square district. It takes 20-30 minutes to get here from downtown areas like Namba or Umeda. I'm visiting the Fureai Port Hall, which operated at a loss since opening and eventually closed down. The projected visitor count for year 1 was 400,000. Even though that was the expectation, only 52,000 people actually came, making it a pretty harsh facility. It takes just under 10 minutes to get to Fureai Port Hall, so let's walk there. Many of you may already know this, but in this area, huge buildings were constructed one after another from the bubble era to the early Heisei period. These massive structures were built as part of Osaka City's Technoport Osaka project, which had a total investment of 2 trillion yen. To put it simply, it's a plan to turn the 3 artificial islands in Osaka, Sakishima, Umeshima, and Meishima, into vibrant cities. Maishima, an artificial island, is sports-focused, while Umeshima draws interest as the expo site and for its ongoing construction. Its location? It's on the north side of Sakishima. There was a plan to make the Cosmo Square area the new city center of Osaka, called Technoport. Since it was the center of the Osaka plan, many huge buildings were constructed on Sakishima according to this plan. Basically, they were planned during the bubble era and built after the bubble burst. As for the buildings, all of them were constructed without revising the outlook from the bubble era plans. The commercial facility RC went bankrupt 9 years post-opening, despite being Japan's 6th tallest building. Sakishima Cosmo Tower went out of business soon after opening. It is a museum where you can learn about the history of Osaka Sea, called Naniwa no Umi no Toki. The museum closed after 13 years and was left abandoned. The results were disastrous. This time we'll discuss the Fureai Port Museum. Honestly, the impact of the other 3 facilities is so strong that this one has become overshadowed, but it's also an attractive building. It's kind of sad that it remains so unnoticed. As someone who really loves Nanku, I decided to do my best to research it and make the most detailed video about it in the world. That's how it came about. Now you can see the Fureai Port Hall. It's the overgrown building on the left. After the Fureai Port Hall closed, it was used as a vocational school, but that school also closed and it's been left abandoned ever since. Honestly, it's almost like a mountain now. By the way, this is what it looked like when it was properly maintained. It's beautiful, but maintaining it must have been tough. It probably cost a lot to keep it up too. The Port Hall, a museum constructed in 1995 for 590 million yen, had 2 basement levels and 1 above-ground floor. The museum was operated by an external organization of Osaka City, the Osaka Port Reconstruction Association. Osaka Port and its 7 sister ports. It seems the purpose was to expand exchanges with San Francisco, Melbourne, Le Havre, Shanghai, Valparaiso, Busan, and Saigon, and to make it a base to further deepen those relationships. You can see poles in front of you, and it seems that the flags of the countries where the sister ports are located were flown here. On the back of the pole, you can faintly see interaction between ports. I've come around to the main entrance. It's a building with a distinctive design and it's pretty cool. The way a bird spreads its wings and takes flight. That's what inspired the French architect. It appears Philippe Branchi designed it. Viewed from above, it forms a triangle. Originally, he was someone who had nothing. Since it's Kojima, I think they created a triangular plot of land to build a triangular building. It looked like I could take a quick peek inside, so I went ahead. There are stairs leading underground, and in the back, there's a glass-walled area. On the first floor, there were restaurants and shops, right? The restaurant, it seems it was a sister branch of a long-established place in Paris and was quite popular. Well then, the theme of the facility was exchange with our sister school, but the main exhibit was the wine museum. The exhibition room about the sister school was free to enter, and then you could go to the wine museum. Admission was 600 yen for adults, and 300 yen for children. I don't think there are any kids interested in wine though. They introduced the food culture of the sister school through videos and recreated a wine town with dioramas. Even though wine was the theme, they still maintained their focus on introducing the sister school. Also, it seems you could use a computer to create your own wine label, and this was apparently quite popular. And a huge wine cellar was also installed, where they stored and displayed vintage wines as well as wines from around the world. As you can see, I'm not good with alcohol, so I don't know much about wine, but they had things like Romanée Conti, Chateau Margaux 1900 and Chateau Petrus 1949. They purchased 157 bottles for around 5.65 million yen. Most were displayed, but the most valuable ones were kept in storage, not shown to the public due to security concerns. Despite this, I'd really like to see them. A wine museum with a gorgeous building that cost a huge amount of money. Just by looking at this ground, I feel like it would take a lot of ingenuity to make this place popular. As you might imagine, it didn't become popular at all. In its first year of operation, 1995, they expected 400,000 visitors, but only 52,000 actually came. From the outset, results were far below expectations, and things turned dire. When it was a wine museum, children didn't come, and even among adults, only a limited number were interested in wines from around the world. Access was also at Cosmo Square, which is a long walk from the station. The hoped-for synergy effect failed to materialize. The space-time of the Japanese sea, Sakishima, is a bit far from the Cosmo Tower, and the location was also tough. I've just come around to the back side of the main gate from earlier. The blue area in front used to be filled with water, but now it's drained. By the way, this is also an entrance. There's so little information about this facility that I'm not sure. But this side is actually closer to the station and also closer to the parking lot. I've been calling the other one the main gate, but maybe this entrance was actually the main one used. The mats on the deck to the building are peeling and worn. The overgrown grass makes it unclear if it's being maintained. However, the building hasn't been vandalized or covered in graffiti. There are no signs of that. The inside looks clean too. It was built on the side of the deck. The sign says Mountain Grapes, and on both sides, grapes from around the world were being cultivated. Every year around August, a grape harvest was held, and the grapes harvested here were given out for free to visitors. By the way, it seems that only during the mountain grape harvest, which was the biggest event of the year, there were a lot of people. Also, the purpose of visitors was the wine museum. The focus shifted from the museum to irregularly held exhibitions in event spaces and similar venues. It had turned into just a museum. Wild grape harvesting alone won't attract visitors as the main attraction. However, it was hard to use due to the building's structure. Improvements were expensive and there were no solutions. In 2003, the number of visitors dropped to just 8,000. The wine museum was small and unimpressive, making the 600 yen entrance fee seem overpriced. The venue was too small for events, and special exhibitions were infrequent. After going through materials from Osaka City, it turns out that 2 Fureai port buildings were planned, and this is the back side of this building. Now, there's a large battery system testing facility built here. This is the place. Originally, there was a live hall called PP Osaka at this location. Some of the viewers might have been there before. PP Osaka had originally planned to operate for about 10 years and was looking for a new location. It moved to PP Namba, and in 2012, PP Osaka finished its role. Zepp Osaka Bayside, which opened much later, is now nearby. I couldn't find any specific information about the planned opening date or details for the second phase, but after Zepp closed, if the first phase's business goes well, they plan to open it. I wonder what happened. Of course, the plan stalled, and after Zepp closed, it was left unused, but for now, I'm glad the vacancy has been filled. The city reached an impasse in its operation and ultimately determined the situation was unsustainable. In 2005, Higashinaka Urban Community took over management. The project period was 3 years. Higashinaka Urban Community attracted a wedding hall and, through collaboration with nearby universities, held art exhibitions and music concerts, which led to a slight improvement in the number of visitors. However, even with the help of the private sector, it was difficult to balance the books, and in 2008, after Higashinaka's 3-year project period ended, the Fureai Port Hall was closed. Even looking at examples around the world, the only famous wine museum is in Bordeaux, Paris. I think that's fine because Bordeaux is a city famous for wine, but in Japan, I think it's fundamentally more difficult. If it were on a smaller scale, for example, as one of the tenants in a commercial facility, it might become popular. However, the city was initially looking for ways to make effective use of it without selling it. A large amount had been stored there. The wine was sold on Yahoo auctions in 2009, so it remained as a wine museum. It appears they didn't initially plan to utilize it. Since the information is gone, it's detailed. I couldn't find out the selling price, but it seems that many of the items increased in value compared to when they were purchased, so it ended up being a profit. Thanks to that, we weren't often criticized for wasting taxpayers' money. In the end, it was decided that making use of this building would be difficult. In 2011, it was decided to sell the land and building through an open competitive bidding process, where an unspecified number of people could apply as contract partners. As a result, Ueda Gakuen Educational Institution won the bid with 71 million yen and the property was sold. Despite the building itself costing 590 million yen, it was sold with the land for only 71 million yen. Regrettably, many bubble-era properties continue to be plagued by a negative image. Moreover, the land is remote from the station and the building is highly impractical, making the situation unavoidable. Ueda Gakuen is Osaka General Design. It's an educational corporation that operates vocational schools like Yasuko Ueda Fashion College. Especially in Kansai, the fashion school is well known. Due to its popularity, many people have likely heard of it. Ueda Gakuen aimed to open a vocational school related to anime and manga on the site of the former Fureai port. Although there were twists and turns, such as delays in opening due to lack of preparation, in 2014 they established Osaka Entertainment Design. The vocational school opened. It's the wine museum. A section of the building apparently served as a space for events like presentations and entrance ceremonies. However, the vocational school closed after just 7 years due to its remote location, small campus, and limited student capacity. Despite this, enrollment declined further, and in 2020, it was temporarily closed in 2021 and officially shut down the next year. Ueda Gakuen was, of course, unable to recover the 71 million yen either. It ended in a complete failure in June 2025. To this day, it remains abandoned and neglected. As for the other massive buildings, a president from the private sector was appointed to AC and made it profitable. Sakishima Cosmo Tower served as the Osaka prefectural government building during the Naniwa no Umi era. The space was unused until recently, but after private sector management took over, it started being utilized. However, Technoport is currently not being utilized. Are there any other Osaka-related buildings like this? I think this is probably the only building in Nanko that isn't being utilized. I really hope something can be done about it, but it's already out of Osaka City's hands when it comes to this building. I checked to see who currently owns it and compared it to similar sized properties. Apparently Ueda Gakuen still owns it, and there's something that surprised me a bit. After the vocational school closed, 3 mortgages were set up totaling 760 million yen. To explain mortgages simply, it means using the building as collateral. It means you can get a large loan from a financial institution by using the building as collateral. However, if the borrower can't repay the loan, the financial institution will sell the building. Mortgages are often used for one-time transactions. Once the debt is paid off, a regular mortgage is removed. But with a revolving mortgage, you set a maximum loan amount in advance and can borrow repeatedly within that limit. It's often used for ongoing transactions, and even if the debt is paid off, it doesn't disappear unless both parties agree. From this situation, you can infer that selling it appears they have no specific plan or interest in utilizing the property. With 3 revolving mortgages, it's a significant risk for potential buyers, making a sale improbable. Probably not. Even if the debt is paid off, it won't disappear right away. It probably won't even get to the point of being sold. So it seems likely that it will just be left like this for a while. The owner of the building is free to do whatever they want with it. I have no intention of blaming Ueda Gakuen at all, so please understand that. It's a shame that such a magnificent building is being left abandoned. Honestly, I thought that no matter what you do, it's unlikely to be profitable, so I guess it can't be helped. The vacant lots nearby are filled. and no new attractions are being built, so we can't expect synergistic effects. I wonder why they decided to build it here, since that's not possible either. That's all for this video. See you again in the next one. Thank you for watching.